Good morning, guys. Today is August 19th, 2020. Still under distance learning, trying to adjust to all these changes. But first and foremost, I just want to say I'm glad to see everybody. I'm glad to be posting my first video, and hopefully this will find you well. If you've gotten on my Google Classroom, you will notice that there are some documents that you need to review. One of them being the video chat expectations. And then another form, Zoom student class expectations. But most importantly, our Zoom norms. Now, each one of these documents are posted on my Google Classroom, and you can access them for printing if needed. You will also see a blank bubble map, of course. I would hope that you're finished with it. And that is going to be our lesson for today. We are going to be talking about our Zoom expectations. Most of you have already done this with me, so you should be very familiar with what we're about to get started. First thing I always like to do is I like to put my first word right in the middle. And I just called it rules. Because expectations are also rules, they're guidelines, they're policies, and this is what we expect to see out of you. Once I do that, I create my circle right in the middle. And now I'm going to start talking about some of the expectations that apply to the rules or Zoom expectations. First and foremost, we want to make sure that we raise our hand when we need our teacher's attention. This will allow your teacher to know that you need help, that you have a question, that you want to participate, you want to make a comment. When you raise your hand, your teacher will be able to stop what she's doing for just a moment, talk to you, and then resume teaching. But be prepared, because she might say, please wait for questions to the end. If it's real important, you can also use your chat box. Your chat box will help you make a topic relevant conversation, post it to everyone, and your teacher will be able to respond. Please make sure that your topics are on, that your chat is on topic. Now I'm going to go ahead and circle it and draw a connecting line. I appreciate everybody's patience. Remember, this is my first video, and I will get better as time goes on. One of the second expectations that we've talked about in class is to keep your video on, or turn on your video. Circle it and draw a line. Now that we are in distance learning, it's important for us to think of our classroom as this big as our screen. The classroom is this big. So if you can't see me, then I am not in class. I am not following directions, and my teacher could get concerned. So it's very important to stay in class or in the screen. If you want to leave the screen for just a moment, raise your hand, ask a question. May I use the restroom? Would be a good example. The next one was to mute yourself. Mute yourself is very important so that we don't have too many students talking at the same time. When too many students are talking at the same time, It's very confusing to listen to questions as a teacher. It's distracting because I can't focus on the questions at hand. In addition, in order to mute yourself, it will also help you create less background noise for your teacher to listen to when she's teaching. One of the big ones that we saw in redirection this past week, no playing in the background. Sorry, that was a long one. Draw my circle, make the attachment. So in our past Zoom meetings this week, we noticed kids who were in their back room playing with toys. One was on an iPad while the lesson was going on. Another kid was drawing on his whiteboard. He was drawing on his whiteboard. And those expectations cannot be tolerated only because this is the size of our classroom. And if you're doing anything other than listening and learning, again, it could be distracting. Other kids might think, why does he get to do that? Why am I not getting to play? And we do not want to set up a we don't want to set up the wrong impression of what we are doing. The last thing I will say on the very bottom is not to play with your camera. I understand that these are very different from the Zoom norms and the documents that I have given you. Those guidelines are just to help you come up with some rules that you would like to follow. So some of these are the things that we had seen that I wanted to address as a redirection teacher. But when I say no playing with your camera, that would include moving your camera up and down, toggling around with the face, or even putting up objects to see what they look like on camera. Try not to play with your camera. Just like everything else, playing with your camera could be very distracting for students who are trying to learn. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you're able to make your circle map look similar to mine. I hope you understand the Zoom norms and the Zoom expectations so that you can do your best while working through virtual learning. I'll see you guys later for another video. Have a good day.